What up, gang, fam? This is your boy DiazMackie, host of the After Party with DiazMackie and friends here at the VIP Section Comedy Show in Henderson at the Backyard, 117 South Water Street. Come by and mention the VIP section. We have it every Thursday night, trivia at 7 p.m. Bumisado's trivia with Amino, Jakku. Comedy starts at 8:15-ish. We bring comedians from all across the country. And tonight, as always, we have a collection. We had Mr. Danny Cruzz from Oakland, California, come out.
Yes, sir.
And do his thing. We had Dorin Plummer. Where you from, Dorin?
Detroit.
You from the D? What up, though? I didn't know that. Okay. And then we had Miss J. Monet out of Philly. And then our features this week, we had Mr. Lex Las Vegas out of Brooklyn, New York.
What up?
And then we have Melvin Jr.
Yes, sir.
out of Oakland, California. Comes through and rock the building.
Yep.
Who's been here before. And then my boy Jason Santiago out of Phoenix by way of the Bronx.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Thank you all for coming out and doing the show. Jason, you headlined the show. You've been out to Vegas a few times, even Boulder City. I do believe it's your first time out here in Hendertucky, as they like to call it.
Yeah.
What did you think of your experience here at the VIP section of the Backyard?
It's a good room. Love the setup. Got that intimate but open feel. Bartenders are attractive as hell. Just wanted to kind of give a shout out to the bartenders there. But it was a good experience. Yeah, good room, man. I had fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we try to make it comedy conducive, and we are fortunate that this bar doesn't have gaming. You know what I mean? That distraction.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they hate it. So the people that come in at that hour on the Thursdays, they are conditioned to come in for a comedy show. So it's kind of a comedy club, an environment, and a bar, which we've been blessed to have.
They're ready to laugh, yeah.
I met you through Bobby Johnson out in Phoenix. I was doing some shows headlining.
Tempe Improv.
Yeah, I headlined Tempe Improv and met you, and we clicked instantly.
Yeah, immediately.
Instantly.
Yeah.
How long you been doing comedy?
6 years now, man.
6 years now?
6 years. So I just became funny. Yeah, so 6 years. 6 years.
Yeah. Did you start out in Phoenix or did you start out in the Bronx?
I started out in Phoenix. I've always wanted to do comedy, but I didn't develop the intestinal fortitude until about 6 years ago. I had a cousin. My cousin died, and he did comedy. He made me promise that I would at least try it. He wanted me to try it while he was alive, but unfortunately, he ended up passing before his time. And so when he did pass, I want to make good on my word. And so that's where I tried it. And then I did a bar set where you're talking about all those freaking TVs and everything and else beyond, and bombed horribly. And I said, I love this shit. I love it because I felt.
You loved it because you bombed?
I loved it because I felt the energy.
If I'd have bombed, I'd have probably never started doing comedy.
Yeah,
My first few sets were amazing.
I'm stubborn. But then, kept doing open mics and all this other shit or whatever. And then I did my first time I was ever on a big stage was Tempe Improv at New Faces. It's a burner showcase, for new comedians or whatever. You bring 10 people, you get 5 minutes on stage, right? So my first show, I was like, 250, 300, like a lot of people. My mom and my pops are in the audience, and I had an unbelievable set. And I'll still watch it from time to time and being like, wow. And that's when I was truly bit by the bug, because that's when I experienced that show high. I couldn't fall asleep when I got home. I was like, this is something that I need to do. And so I've just been pursuing it ever since.
So, who are your comedic influences?
Everybody around me, man. When it comes down to styles, as far as stuff like comedian, I could grab a little bit from everyone. I like, obviously you got the Chappelles, the anecdotal. I love Steve Wright, real just monotone.
Stephen Wright.
Yeah. He's got this one joke. I remember it was just a tag. It was, you ever walk down the street and the prescription in your eyeglasses runs out? And then he just kind of looks back and forth, and it was just so monotone. But the pause that he had,
the deadpan that he had, he was a genius.
And so it was descriptive in nature, and you're like, holy shit.
One of my favorites growing up was Richard Lewis, and a lot of people don't even remember him doing comedy, but I used to love his Jewish, and he would always.
He's always doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, I love.
We're showing our age right now, but yeah. You know, but I mean, like all the greats, Eddie Murphy. I mean, there's just so many. I don't have just like one that I try to emulate. Comedians and people overall are my influences because I see people and like the way you act. That's some pretty funny shit. You know what I'm like? I think I'm like that person probably can do whatever they're doing on stage, and it would be a bit. You know what I mean? And so like I pick up different things. Yeah,
like I asked that question, and I think back like a lot of my comedic influences. Bernie Mac was one.
Mm-hmm.
People think Chris Rock all the time. I was like, no. Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, but Dave Chappelle, young. Richard Lewis, like I said, Seinfeld,
nah.
And I loved Louis Black,
yeah.
and Carlin,
yeah.
Like
Ali Wongstoke too,
and I loved Robin Williams, as well as Rita Rudner, Whoopi Goldberg, growing up, and Judy, and Simone,
yeah.
I love Simone.
Yeah.
Like I had a crush on that bitch.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh my god. Like if I still meet that bitch, like I would.
I'm not mad at you for it.
Eat that. Oh god. I'm looking for the coochie to the tooth. But yeah, but my style probably doesn't resemble any of them.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and I forgot another person, and who was my first influence was Fozzie the Bear.
Fozzie the Bear?
Yucca. Bruh. Watching it, because I grew up Sesame Street and the Muppets.
Yeah.
And I knew Kermit was a dude, but I loved Fozzie. Like his trying to be humor in that clown.
Right.
And the yucca. I love that stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I always identify with him with being the black dude and Kermit. Because Brownie, he had that swag. You know, he was always the top half the brim.
So you had to be a brother.
Bro, I used to watch certain cartoons or like Muppets that was supposed to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know he's black. I'm like, I get it. Like Pound Puppies and shit like that. But like we knew Panthro was black in the Thundercats. We knew that he was a nigga.
Yeah. He's stupid. Watching Fat Albert, they're all black. Yeah.
Well, yeah. We knew Heathcliff was black.
Why? Because he was lazy and just ate food all day.
No, because that nigga rode in the gang and that nigga was just a thug. Like, he was different from Garfield, lazy ass, you know?
Yeah.
Heathcliff was into shit.
Garfield was on EBT, that's why, you know, so.
No, Garfield was a white Italian, like, just like lazy ass lasagna. He hated the dog. We knew the dog was a nigga. We knew Odie was a nigga.
The yellow dog was a nigga.
Yeah, we knew Odie was a nigga. That's why Garfield had him. He fucking mooly. You know, So, you've been doing comedy 6 years. Your influences people all around you, and you name some of your comedic road gigs.
Yeah.
Crazy Road Story.
This was right before the pandemic, and so it was myself and 2 other comedians. We were going out to Texas. We were hitting El Paso, Austin, and so we all, you know, on the trip. We're comedians, whatever. You know, we got weed, whatever. We got a couple comedians that, you know, have some coke, have some yay, right? And we're taking off. You know, we're driving in my car, and it wasn't my turn to drive. And we were coming up to the checkpoint, and I'm like, "Hey, roll up the window because we're coming to the checkpoint." My man was driving. He was like, "Oh no, this is one of those stop and goes," and I was like, "No, roll up the window because I can see there's a dog there."
Right, yeah. You're like, nigga, I got 20/20 vision.
Bro, I was sitting in the back seat as we're driving up. I see the dog, and then I see the dog sit down, and I started to pray. I was like, "Oh shit!" I said, "You're like what?" I'm like, "The dog just signaled him." He was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Watch." And as soon as we got up there, they were like, "Stop." Roll down the window. My friend trying to be all, "Yes, officers, there's music problems." Like, yeah, the dog just signaled us, so we need to step out the vehicle. Bro, we get out. We're like sitting in like 3 chairs. This is out freaking just out there. Cars are driving by, and they go. One of my friends goes, "Yo, I've got about 3 grams of coke in my bag." And I'm like, "Well, where's your bag?" He's like, "It's in the back of the trunk." Now, we had already been smoking, so I knew that's what the dog smelled or whatever. And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, holy shit. So they pop up the trunk. And because they had asked us, is there anything else that we need to know about or whatever? Of course, I said no because I didn't know about freaking Ye. And so they're like, all right. So they start freaking coming. The dog, they open up the trunk. The German Shepherd jumps in my fucking trunk. Jumps in the trunk. Yeah. And is sniffing. And I'm like, holy shit. And then, so my man goes, hey, so should I tell him that I got more weed in the back? I'm like, yeah, tell him you got more weed in the back. No. So he comes and he's like, hey, listen, officer, yeah, we have weed there or whatever. They're like, you know what, gentlemen, this is a no-tolerance state or whatever. Just as he's saying that, there was a car coming in. There was two brothers in the car. Bro, they were coming in hot, and they were like, yo, holy stuff, stop. So they stopped them. So because of that was going on, they were like, all right, we're not even going to mess with you. They're like, listen, it's a no-tolerance state. You guys can't do it. Okay, here you go. Get your stuff and go. The dog, they're pulling the dog, and the dog's like, no, there's more coke in the back of the car. You didn't find it. They freaking dragged it off, and we freaking were able to get freaking scot-free, bro.
That's crazy as fuck.
I was scared as shit, man. I'm like, I'm going to jail. And at that time, I'm like, I'm not even thinking because, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm like, 3 grams of coke could have been like 3 keys was all I could own,
I get pulled
Scared
over.
the shit out of me.
With an 8-ball of crack.
Ah, damn.
And,
okay.
The
I didn't
car,
even know they made 8 balls of crack.
The car that I'm driving is messy as fuck.
Yeah.
And so I put it in a cup and hide it in the mess. And pop out the car and they searching out. Lit up a blunt.
Right.
When I seen the sirens on purpose.
Right.
And blew it all in the car.
Yeah.
Cause the dog got in the car, was circling around, and I was like, yeah. And they put it on me, and I was like, if he bite me, I'm gonna sue the fuck out of y'all. Cause I was like, y'all, I'm smoking weed. Like I had a clam bake by the time pulled over on purpose.
Yeah.
Like I'll take this weed charge before I take this fucking crack charge. They gave me a ticket. The car wasn't registered, and they towed the car. And I remember going to the police pound lot to go grab my belongings.
Your 8-ball of crack.
With the cop looking next to me. And grabbed my
probably
shit.
4 years ago. He still hasn't fallen asleep from that.
No, I ain't never do it. But I started selling it when I got on child support.
No shit. Ah, damn.
I had I was doing sales telemarketing. I was selling the windows and doors.
Yeah.
And I had a $5,000 check that I knew was coming to me.
Right.
And when I got my check was $50. Child support. My daughter's mom had put me on child support, and it instantly took $4,500. They charged me for the birth of my daughter, which was $45. They charged me $4,500, instantly.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know that was legal. I was like, how did you take more than 50%?
Right.
And I went to what we call him, friend of the court back then. And I had a black lady come to the window. Black women in customer service, Ty Rivera does this joke, and he's right, have no fucking business doing customer service.
Right.
Black women are some of the fucking worst bitches ever. I walk up to this lady, I'm a college student, this young black man, I think these numbers are a little bit off. I don't mind paying child support, but can we adjust this shit? This bitch was because I was a full-time college student. She was like, you need to drop out of school and get you a full-time job. And I looked at her and said, that was your advice to a young black man, was to stop getting an education and just... I was like, fuck this government. I never called the friend of the court again after that.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a trap. Y'all meant to entrap us. But, long story boring, I took that $50 check. And I went and I bought some dope with it.
Okay.
There you go.
And I went on the block. And it was the only time I ever went on the block, allegedly. All of this.
Respectfully.
And
we're doing a selfie.
The time I was out there, I was like, this is the dumbest fucking shit ever. This is so hot.
Yeah.
And with my racism, I hated selling to black people and seeing my people like that.
Yeah.
So the rest of my time, I allegedly sold crack. I would not sell to black people. I would just sell to fucking white people. Let your rich ass be cracked out and all that bullshit. But I would not, and I worked at call centers after that.
Yeah.
I would make the call center my block. Because I was like, at least you get pulled over with money, you got a check stub.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got a check stub. They were like, you're a dope dealer.
This is the perfect place to sell and buy crack.
Melvin Jr.
What's up, baby?
Return guest from Oakland, California.
That's right. That's right.
I know y'all know about the dope game.
Oh, hell yeah. I never got
The
it.
only time I got robbed in my life, it was in Oakland, California. A nigga broke into my friend's car and stole all of my shit. And I ran to a janky promoter that brought me out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then stalled me out on the canceled gig.
And then what?
Stalled me out.
Oh, I thought you
Like,
just stomped you out.
No, stalled me out. No, he wanted to stomp me out.
Oh.
That was how I gave my respect to get a book for the Fillmore. But, let's say his name, but he booked me, Brent Taylor, from ADD and Roz Washington. Come on and do the show.
Okay.
And we get out to the show. It's where I met Danny.
Yeah.
It's when I met Danny.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. This is when I met Danny. And he take us to like this, like what appeared to me to be in the band in fucking high school. Like we supposed to do shows talking about like ticket sales. And I have no idea about the promotion y'all been doing because like but I could tell this shit was off because like he was supposed to take us to our room and it was like, let me take you to the venue first. And then from the venue, it was like, instead of going to the room, y'all just get changed at my house, so I got to change too, right? I'm starting to think, we ain't got no fucking room.
Oh, nah. Y'all was right.
And we change, we get to the venue, and it's like, and this is what I made Danny, like, it's canceled.
Yep.
But Scruncho doing the show. Somewhere out there at some bar. And on the roads, you're going to roll by there because people. And Scruncho happened to know me. I knew Scruncho from me being I was living in LA.
Yeah.
I was doing shit. So Scruncho offered me a spot. Destroyed that bitch. That's when me and Scruncho became partners. Because that nigga was like he had knew of me. And we knew each other, but he hadn't saw me. He was like, nigga, you funny. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, I fucks with you. But instead of going back to our room
that you didn't have,
that we didn't have, this nigga just take us to his house.
There you go. All right, y'all had a slumber party.
And we there sleeping on couches and floors and shit. And I'm the biggest nigga out the three comics.
Y'all roughing it. That's the life.
Yeah, but I'm the biggest nigga out the three comics. You know Brent Taylor, he a little bitty nigga. All right, and then we got Roz Washington, a little bitty bitch. You know what I mean? Ghetto, Compton. You know what I mean? But little. I'm peeping that this is a war of attrition. Like you think, like we comics and we doing things. We can't wait this out. You know what I mean? Like, cause he's like, I got your money. Da, da, da. Like this is a waiting game. I know this is a waiting game, type shit situation. You know what I mean? And I'm petty, like a staring contest. I'm gonna sit here and not blink. And so I call him out on it at a point. Like I know what's up. And started speaking shit. And I'm little, and these niggas, you remember, I ain't gonna say his name. Nigga big.
He's a comic or just
no, a promoter, but big nigga, like big. Way bigger than me. Him and his partners. It was like, you know where you at? You ain't at home right now. And I said, no, I know where the fuck I'm at. I'm in your living room. And he stood up, and I stood up too. And I said, you might beat my ass, but you gonna work for it.
There you go. I ain't no punk bitch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like at this point, when I stood up, I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. When I looked that nigga straight in his eyes, it was like, I'm gonna catch you. You know what I mean? I'm already scoping, like, what the fuck can I grab to, like, bing this nigga?
Wasn't funny.
And his boy, one of his boys jumped in the midst and pulled me aside and was like, little nigga, you got heart. And he was like, we got you, da-da-da-da. Like, I don't know if my friends got to take care of, but I know that them niggas like, you got heart, nigga.
Yeah, that's what you gotta have. Yeah.
That's my Oakland experience. Now I was like, Oakland crazy as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, we get down.
Y'all niggas supposed to be all artsy and all.
Who the fuck? I mean, no, it's art. No, it's art out there. But
y'all the Black Panthers and all that shit like that, but these niggas out there, because y'all infiltrated. Well, people try to affiliate Oakland with San Francisco, which is gay as fuck.
No. Hey, you talk. I mean, we totally different. We the Bay Area, but nah. San Francisco got his gays, but they got his hood suits. Frisco motherfuckers will fuck you up. Everybody think it's just gay people. No, it's some hood motherfuckers.
Gay hood niggas that fuck you up. They the worst ones. Because they'll fuck you up and then fuck you.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. But it's totally two different worlds.
But you grew up your entire life from Oakland.
Yeah.
Like you just Bay Area, like.
My whole life, yeah. Born and raised.
How long you been doing comedy?
Be 13 years in May.
Comedic influences?
Shit, the Wayans in Living Color, everybody on that.
Nice.
On that, like I grew up watching that. Jamie, Jim Carrey, really love Jim Carrey. Damon, of course, you know, Keenan.
You look like you could be a Wayans. You know your daddy?
Everybody.
You know your daddy? You could be a Wayans, nigga. You could be the 18th one. That family is bigger than the motherfuckers.
Nah, yeah.
I meet new Wayans every time I go to LA.
Shit.
Yeah, I've seen Damon Jr. live. He's fucking funny.
I know Damon Jr. That's my boy.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
So me and Damon, his cousin Swan, me and Shantae, we close. Used to be super close.
Yeah, I've never met her. Yeah, she's funny though.
Oh, that's my dog.
Yeah.
Shantae has one of the funniest molestation jokes ever.
Oh wow.
And she's so pretty. She's so pretty. You be like, fuck, why is she a lesbian?
Yeah, she probably get it every
She look like she'd be a cool ass fucking girlfriend.
Hell yeah.
Wife. But that bitch like pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Shantae Wayans.
Hey.
And Damon Jr. You done because you work with Hannibal Thompson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my dog.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you know Corey Showtime Robinson.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sure you know Chris Riggins. Fuck him.
I didn't say that, Chris.
I said it.
I didn't.
And Chris, you know why I said it because you know I had love for you, but you know why I said it.
Set me up for that. I know them all. Yeah.
Kabir,
Yeah.
Kabisi,
Kabir, show me.
Samuel Bay.
Yeah.
Sammy is one of the smartest fucking comics in the game.
Yeah, he was really a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his math, Sam is one of the motherfuckers. Like, you get caught up in it. He is just so fucking intelligent.
This shit makes you think. It's funny, but if you slow, don't even listen. Because it's going to go right over your head.
But the Bay got some beast of comics.
We got some hitters.
Cat comes out of the Bay, right? Lunel comes out of the Bay.
He said decent. No, we got some hitters in the Bay.
No, y'all got some hitters.
Yeah.
They're
not from the Bay, but that's where they got big. That's where they got their start.
So Mark Curry, though, he's from the Bay, though.
He's from Oakland. Yeah. That's the man.
Yeah.
You talk about comedy in Oakland, you can't say it without saying his name. Yeah. Mark Curry's the man. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, he had his own show. What, on ABC? What was that, on ABC?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's part of the TJF.
Yeah, like, no, he was the king of Oakland, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Still see him out doing this thing. Still selling out shows.
Crazy road story.
I don't have any. Last time I don't really have it. I've been on the road a lot. But, I mean, this right here is on the road. But no crazy. I try to stay away from it.
That's good.
Yeah, I try to stay away from it. Like, when I see the BS, I go the other way. Because I get caught up in it. Especially when I was drinking and all that. Like,
when I try to do good, evil is always present with me.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed, and I'll hear about it. It happened right after I left, so I was like, no.
I got friends that be like,
let me buy one of those.
they be scared to hang out with me on certain nights because they be like, some shit gonna happen. And everybody be like, no, we finna be easy. And they be like, no, I have been with Diaz, and I've seen when he's gone out of his way to try to do, like, mundane shit, and trouble just finds him.
We smoking it?
No, not in here.
Oh, okay.
But you crossed tonight, Femo. Thank you so much for coming through.
I crossed.
You crossed. You had people leaving and going, this was a really good show tonight, Diaz. But you know what would have made it better? If he would have went up last. And I was like, yeah, it was the timing when they hit me up.
Nah, you know me, I'll come out here on the shit.
Yeah, you come out there humbug.
Like, yeah.
And you hit me up right when I had a spot. Because I told you, I was like, always hit me up in advance because I hate when you come up here and it just be a guest set.
It's all
because
good.
I can't pay you and you're so funny. Out of town comics, I want to pay you if you hit me up in advance.
And comics want to be paid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I get that.
But I love that time too. You know what I'm saying? So shit, give me the time, shit.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
I appreciate you for always having me. You know?
Mr. Danny Cruzz, also out of Oakland, who I met my first time there.
Well, we met in Oakland. I know Melvin from Oakland, but I'm actually from San Jose.
San Jose.
Yeah, well, you kept saying,
oh, you're in NorCal.
Yeah.
They introduced me yesterday too from Oakland, and I said, "Who's from Oakland?"
Because everybody knows.
Oh, you in NorCal.
Yeah.
But that's the South Bay.
That's the South Bay. He's
It's
further up
Northern
the Bay.
California, but the South
It's
Bay.
the Bay Area. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
Yeah.
That's all the Bay Area.
That's a
San
very
Jose
big
is
city.
considered still a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the Bay.
Because I know San
It's the
Jose
Bay.
has a fucking crack problem.
Now, well, he can tell you more.
Now?
Well,
Yeah, when I was there.
Well, I mean,
You know, when I was a young man, it was a KJ problem. So
I did-
angel dust and shit.
Oh, is that-
Yeah.
I was with
But, there was a big meth problem because I know it because a few of my family members.
I was
but I
with-
won't talk about that.
I was with
I won't talk about that.
I was with Medi Mike,
I lived down in Alameda.
and we did the San Jose hemp convention.
Oh, okay.
And in the San Jose Convention Center, it was all these vendors. It was Caviar Gold and all them people selling their weeds, and they was smoking weed in there. And Medi was telling me, because they ended up putting me in the centerfold of the magazine with Baby Bash and a couple other people. He was like, don't be upset if they don't laugh at you. Pac comedy is different.
They're stoned out of their mind.
And I was like, bullshit, funny. And I went up there and told it, my first joke was, I had smoked so much weed that I had to do cocaine just so I could smoke my weed. And please, just the whole, and then I made fun of Caviar Gold because they're models. They were using women models. They were the only fucking, and I was like the pimps of the weed game. These motherfuckers got bitches out here slinging and died and was just dogging their weed. Because I had smoked a joint and they were the first ones that had that flavored, all that shit, and I was dogging that
Purple?
shit.
What?
They had all different types of flavor, and I was dogging it right in front of them, like just dogging it. And so much to the point, they gave me so much fucking merch and weed. But Danny, how long have you been doing comedy now?
Well, you're talking about weed in Oakland. You remember Chris
What, Chris?
Soren?
Yeah.
Chris on the island.
Yeah.
Well, you remember he used to do comedy out of his apartment?
Yeah.
What he used to do, he'd live above a bar, right? And he'd have a comedy night, and he charged $10 to get in, but he couldn't sell beer, so the beer was free, but you could smoke all you want. And he would take out in his bedroom, he would take out his bed, and he would put like 20 chairs in there, and he'd make a little, out of crates, a stage. So he'd have a comedy show in there. So I go in there, right? And they're drinking and smoking, and they're high, and they're laughing at everything I'm saying. They're loving it and loving it. I go, man, I always want to perform in front of people that are smoking weed. They're really cool. So now I get a gig in San Jose at a dispensary, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a different kind of high because they're sitting there at a bar with these blow torches and they're doing dabs.
Yeah.
And they're doing that, and they're getting high as hell. So I'm doing my set, and I'm doing my setups, and when I hit the punchline, they just stop and turn and all look at me. But they don't laugh. They don't laugh at all. Then they go back.
Oh, you gotta make them motherfuckers laugh, bro.
Man, that was, I thought it was gonna be easy because they were high.
It
But
is easy.
But That time it wasn't. They were stoned out of their mind.
Man.
No, but even still, when it's that high, you still get them laugh. You just gotta be funny. Like when I see the motherfuckers doing dabs, my joke about that is, you motherfuckers have made doing smoking weed into a basehead activity. Like y'all free basing weed.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I had never seen that. You got these blow torches there.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind.
I'm like, if I need a blowtorch to get high, like this is not the drug that I need.
No, yeah, that ain't for me.
All I'm supposed to need is an apple and a lighter.
So back to your other question. I was doing comedy. I started in the 90s, in the early 90s. And then a life decision came across. You know, you have to make these decisions in life. So I stopped doing comedy for a good decade. And then...
You started doing comic relief the early 90s.
Yeah, there you go. And anyway, I used to go in the early 90s, man. I used to have a Ford pickup with a camper shell on it, right? And I used to get gigs in Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico. So I get gigs for 3 weeks in a row at the comedy clubs out there, and I'd drive out there. And when I didn't have a gig, right, you got to take care of yourself when you're on the road. So I'd sleep in my truck. So I'd be gone for 3 weeks, go home, stay home a couple weeks, go out for another couple weeks. I did that for a couple of years, and then, like I said, life kind of...
You're road dogging it.
Yeah, yeah, I really do. I really miss that.
That's where you get the best at, though.
Yeah.
You develop so much on the fucking road because you're in different environments and different
Correct.
societies. And if you're a good comic and observant, you adjust. And it's not so much adjusting, you just absorb. Like their culture. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
I used to fly into Orlando, Florida, and there was a booker there, and I would rent a car. And for the next 16 days, out of those 16 days, about 13 days, I'd do one-nighters. And it was cool.
Oh, those are fun.
Travel up and down the whole state, from the Panhandle to like, what's that, oh, I forget the name of it. Panama City, I think it's called. That's where the college kids are, spring break. I think it's Panama City. Right there on the Panhandle, right next to Alabama. And then I go all the way down to the Florida Keys.
because I've done Pensacola, Jacksonville, Tampa. I've done Tampa, which I've mentioned on previous podcasts. I've had police escorts out of 4 cities in Florida: Lake City, Flagler Beach. What's the other 2? I'm forgetting now. After party, but yeah. Yeah, and that's when I was introduced to the South, because I used to do Texas, Louisiana, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Georgia. I did Tennessee one time, and then Florida. Oh, and I did Virginia. I did Virginia Beach one time. Fuck, you just reminded me of a couple of states that I have not performed in. I've done comedy in Texas, but only in El Paso. I've done comedy in New Mexico at somebody's house when I was kidnapped from El Paso. What, they give you back or what? I mean, I'm here. But yeah, literally got kidnapped. Shit. So anyway, in the 90s, I stopped. I made a life decision. I stopped for a good 10 years, right? Or more. 10 years? Yeah, a good decade. I stopped doing comedy for a good decade. What are your comedic influences? When I was young, I would say the one I really used to admire was George Carlin. George Carlin? Yeah, because his beard is weird, his hair is fair, you know. He was just intelligent. I really did, and I like Louis Black. You know, I like Samuel Bay. Samuel Bay and Capizzi, I'm the one that kind of gave him. I saw him one time, but when they first started out, I used to produce shows, you know, like at restaurants and stuff in San Jose. So I put them all on my shows all the time, every chance I got. Just like DJ Sandu. I love Sandu. Same thing. When he was in Sacramento, anytime I could. Sandu should be here next week. I think he's in Atlanta next week. He would do all my shows. I would book them all because they're funny guys. I would see, and I always want a funny and show. Good guys. Yeah. DJ Sandu Kabir has a fucking heart of gold instead of Sammy. Yeah. All right, fucking go. Exactly. I was just with Sammy a couple of weeks ago, and I told him, I go, I like being on a show with you because you're so intelligent. When you do comedy, people listen, but you learn something. You know, like his math, or he talks about the Constitution,
and your civil rights and all that. And he does it funny, but he does it funny. Yeah. And that's the intelligence. To get people to listen and to teach them something while they're laughing at you and enjoying it, that is genius.
Crazy road story.
Crazy road stories. This one, I started back up a few years ago. Me and a guy named Cruzz Simpson out of L.A.
Hello, Chris.
You know Chris? We got this gig on the road, right? And it's in Montana. So we have to go to this little town out of the middle of nowhere, and we wait there. We get a call. We got to drive out of town about 5 miles. It's like an empty gas station. And then these two vehicles come and they pick us up. Now we're going out of the middle of nowhere. It's taking like a half hour to get there. And I tell Chris, where the fuck we going, man? I go, these are all white dudes we're with. I'm just getting kind of nervous. Me and you only Mexicans, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I go, and so we get there. It takes about a half hour, middle of nowhere, right? And we get there, and it's like a ranch, and there's chickens and goats and shit. I go, hey, Chris, to bring us out of, they're gonna put us to work, man. What the fuck? They're gonna put us to work. So we go in there and they have this big lodge, which is pretty cool. But on the walls, all these trophy heads of all these deers and elk. And I tell Chris, man, it makes me nervous because everybody on this wall is brown. I just, but it was just weird. And then one guy tells me, he goes, hey, let me show you the lay of the land, man. I'll take you out.
He thought you was gonna survive in the game.
Yeah. So he's driving me around showing me the beautiful country, and I'm taking pictures and shit, and I'm texting it to my sister. This is where, if I don't come back, this is where I was at.
Right? Yeah. That's how I felt.
Hey, no offense, sir, but they're all these white people,
respectfully.
Man. And it's a bar. It's set up, but goes to be these people got money, and they have like this club, and they have a comedy show once a year, and they got the booker there, so that's why they sent us out. And we had a really good show. They were really nice people. There was one guy though. He looked like one of my cousins, man. I told him, hey, are you Mexican? Because he's a big guy, He's like 6'2", like 300 pounds, a little dark skin, He goes, no. I go, man, well, somebody in your family went to Tijuana, man, because once I saw you, I felt better, because you felt like you were one of my cousins.
And thank you so much for coming out and rocking the show tonight, D. We got J. Monet.
Hey.
Philly.
What's up?
How long you been doing comedy, man?
6 years.
6 years?
6 years.
And you did work with some of Philly's finest, right? T. Ray Gordon and Keith Urban, Keith from Up the Block. And Jamal Domain.
Mm-hmm. I know some of them names. I done hung out with them.
And then out here, it's a Philly contingent. Y'all got Khalil Mack and Naomi Stock.
Yes.
What made you get in comedy, man?
Man, just got tired of life laughing at me. And I wanted to be in on the joke. That was it. I'm a Capricorn. I ain't grew up trying to be a comedian. I'm serious about life. I'm serious. Shit is real.
Most comics are very serious.
Man.
Who are your comedic influences?
So, I enjoy, like, Stephen Wright, Whoopi Goldberg from back in the day, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Yeah. I appreciate comedy. And that's where it's at. My thing of getting into comedy was more so for a message. You know what I'm saying? Versus being depressed and upset and all that other bullshit. Find a way to just get through life and laughing about it. Because time is ticking. So you can be depressed if you want to be. Or you can put a smile on your face and keep finding a way to get through this shit.
Time isn't ticking.
What?
I don't be knowing how long I'm going to be doing this shit.
So, why be depressed and have yourself all upset? Because that shit fucks with your body, your mental state, all of that. So, you might as well put a smile on your face, and I wanted to share some of that. So I am my biggest influence at this point, because it wasn't about trying to be a class clown or, anything else. It was about me trying to get a message out for people not to be depressed, not to be sad, not to feel like they're the fuck alone. Because you're not. Everybody going through their shit. You can find a way to get through it.
That's what makes me keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
Because there have been times when, and even actually tonight, I was contemplating how long.
Yeah.
And a few different people from tonight's show came up to me and said, thank you.
Yes.
Providing this, and I was feeling some type of way,
yes.
and I was like, this is why I do it.
Yes. And that's both sides of that coin. I tell people shit. From the moment of me being in the car looking at the place, I'm like, Lord God, I don't even know how the hell I'm going to get in here. And then I get in here, and all of y'all are so receptive it lifts something up in you. You know what I'm saying? So you can sit at home and be humdrum and feeling like, oh man, what the hell? Or you can get out here and have somebody to encourage you, and at the same time you encourage somebody, because just as much as you're happy to see me, I'm happy to see you. And now, damn, that's making you feel good. And now, I mean, it's a wonderful feeling.
Road work?
Road work.
Crazy road story.
So,
female in comedy, because I'm sure it's different.
So we're going to just do it like this. So I went to Chicago to be on Judge Mathis' show based on a comedy situation. If you want to find out about it, look it up on the Judge Mathis, I guess, schedule. So the bottom line is they was flying us out. And like any other comedian, anytime we go somewhere, you know you got to hit a stage. So my thing is, I'm going to come out there. Yeah. But y'all got to, extend me to be out there for a couple of days for the airfare and the hotel.
Even if it's an open mic.
Yeah. We got to work this out. So I spoke to a few people I know, like Niche and a few other people out there in Chicago, and they set some stuff up. So I'm out there in Chicago. This is right after Bernie Mac died. I'm out there in Chicago, and I have 6 minutes. And I'm like 2 minutes, maybe 40 seconds in. And it's working. This audience is with me, And I tell a joke where I say, I don't date men who mamas is still living. Wow. The whole room went silent. God. You could have heard a mosquito piss. What the fuck? And the crazy thing is, the room was just with me, like continuously. So when it went silent, you knew it was silent. And in that moment, I recognized where I was at. Oh shit, Chicago, Bernie Mac, like, duh. And I'm talking about mamas. I don't date people who mamas. Like, that was not working. And the funny thing is, with me coming from Philly, I get a lot of love in Philly. I get a lot of respect in Philly. So you can have an off night where somebody don't necessarily say, like, you did really well, but they're still giving you ups for love.
Yeah, because they didn't see you before and they know.
So Philly, I get mad love. So this was the first time where I had that rejection, like, in my face.
On the road.
What? And it was just such a smack in the face. And then dude went behind me and dude tore my ass out the frame. Talking about mamas and shit like that. However, I mean, I did make a comeback. I said some shit like, what y'all upset? Y'all got some daddies and some brothers y'all trying to get rid of. Y'all mad because I won't take them. So they started laughing at that. Then I got back into it. However, it was just such a smack in the face. And then dude came. And it was just the biggest awakening that I could have ever had. And it was so necessary. That bomb, that L, that everything was such a win for me, because I already felt like I've always been winning wherever I was going. Whether it was the personality or whatever it was always right. And this place, this motherfuckers let me know, say that shit, come here talking about mamas and babies. They ain't want to hear none of that.
My biggest bomb was the show that made me. I bombed at the biggest show, the opportunity. I bombed at the finals at the Comedy Jam.
Wow.
I thought I had made it, but I haven't been doing it like 6 months. My audition, I got a standing ovation.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm that shit. Like, I'm already like, this shit ain't that. And I bombed so bad at the finals. And part of it was set up, but I wasn't ready for that moment. But I learned so much from that. And then, after, because that was such a big opportunity, any other show where I have bombed or done bad since then, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, that don't mean shit, because that wasn't that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm used by that. Like, fuck what you feel. I just need to go back and dissect it. But I'm not about to go home and kill myself or be all sad and mopey or have to leave the building because I just bombed.
And that's the beautiful thing. Like, each audience is another opportunity for you to recreate, reinvent yourself. No matter, and the crazy thing is,
I do want to
no
ask
matter
you
how
real quick.
well you did, go ahead.
Because bombing on the road, because I have.
Well, no, but I bombed in that moment.
I have never bombed on the road.
They gave me
so
mad
I
love.
have no idea what that feels like.
No, that one, and I mean, I recorded it, so I have it. That one particular line didn't go well, but before and after, it was fantastic. So the people came up after, which I totally appreciate.
Oh, you just had a dead moment.
It was just that.
You had a bad joke that just went like,
I don't date.
Yeah.
What? Screech.
Yeah. I tell jokes like that.
That shit screeched.
I tell jokes like that on purpose during my sets. Those like.
But you know why? That's growth. So for me now, that's growth. I can understand putting that in the set to fuck with the audience. Before I would have never thought to have done that, but it opened my eyes, and that's what I'm saying. I learned from that.
I play with my audience.
I learned.
I think at the point, I do shit to dip the crowd, just so I can pick them back up and see what, and work that muscle in yo-yo.
I'm working that. I'm learning that. I'm getting there.
You did. You're getting there, boo-boo.
I'm getting there.
Mr. Lex Las Vegas.
What up in the building?
Woo!
New York.
New York in the house.
First feature here at the VIP section.
Yo.
Did your damn thing.
Hell yeah.
You got a new bit. Gonna be known for it. Love it. Respectfully.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing comedy, 2 years now? A year?
About a year. Just over a year, yeah.
Worked your way in the game. Observed. Worked your way in. You already, we'll say, a concierge. Doing your thing. Where do you see, if you do, the growth and the changes in you in the year that you've been doing it?
I definitely see a lot of what Jay Monet was just talking about. How there's a lot of moments where, until you've been doing it, you don't see that next level, doesn't open up, and like you don't see. So for me, I've seen a lot of like what works in terms of working with the crowds, in terms of working with improv, plus adding in my other material in that moment, how to write on stage, how to write in life, how to use life on stage. The bit that you just gave me credit for and respect for, right? Air quotes, respectfully.
Respectfully.
Right? That came from real life. That was real life coming at me and me dealing with real life in a way.
Yeah, you started hitting it so hard it became such a good bit, undeniably good bit. Like,
yeah.
And I told you, we had this conversation, I was going to name my next special Respectfully Disrespectful. My mom gave me that moniker because she says that I'm respectfully disrespectful. And when I told her that I was naming my next special, she's like, brilliant, which is the first thing that she's probably given me credit for during my entire comedy career. But you monitored respectfully so much that I told you, I was like, I gotta change the name of my special.
Nah, it's been great. It's just one of those things where something happened in life. I went up to an open mic. I talked about it. The crowd was into it, and then I built on it from there. I went to another place and worked on it a little bit more and put a little more improv into it, and then just from there it just grew. And
it's a brilliant bit. It's one of those bits.
Well, the reason it works so well is because everybody can relate to it.
Yeah,
right?
And
it happens in real life every fucking day, all around us. People do backhanded compliments, and they use these phrases to like smooth it over, and it's hilarious because we're smart enough to tell the difference, but that's where the humor comes, right?
Comedic influences.
I mean, I have a lot of influences, but some of the stuff that influenced me the most was like Saturday Night Live. Also in Living Color, a lot of sketch comedy. I really like sketch comedy, I didn't really watch as much stand-up comedy until later on, but my stand-up comedy influences are like Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. Like, I definitely like their whole style, but I mean, I like all comedy, right? And I think that all comedy has a time and a place. Like, I see a lot of comedians in our scene and other scenes, they're quick to criticize or say this person doesn't belong in the scene or shouldn't be doing it. But I see everybody having a value because there's very few comics that get on stage and don't have a single joke where I'm like, I can see where that could turn into something, or where you're going with it, or the idea of, or maybe I just see the potential in people more than I'm trying to shit on people. But I think that the way we all think uniquely, for me, became really something I appreciate more after the pandemic and the shutdown, when we were isolated from each other, so you only had your own thoughts, so you couldn't bounce thoughts off of each other. And sometimes, for me, when I first got into comedy, it was the banter between people, because we were so starved for that.
Yeah.
So it was the banter we're joking around.
Birth.
Diaz, no, bro, I know I had you on the floor almost dead laughing several times, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just kicking it. Because that's what it was about. Like,
the pandemic did birth a lot of new comics, and then a lot of people challenging themselves and thinking that life is short and pursuing dreams.
It is short,
and it really is. It truly is, and every moment that you have is great. Where do you see yourself going with this?
I see myself continue to grow, into a headliner as well as a producer of my own shows, maybe also doing more sketch comedy. I see us as a Vegas community, just a community full of talent, right? And there's so many outlets for that.
Super talented. With every scene, the inside politics, and Vegas is too small for that to happen to the strength that is happening at.
To finish the question that you asked, where I see it going is just more growth, more projects, more creation of new things, more alliances. The more that I see other comics from other areas, the more I get inspired, the more that the energy exchanges. I mean, you ask all these questions around the room about, what your crazy road story is. You don't ask me that question because I ain't even been on the road yet. I'm just in Vegas doing my Vegas shit, Lex Las Vegas. Like, that shit's all gonna happen in due time. I'll expand out. We'll do all kinds of crazy things. Wait till I go to New York. I got comedian friends out there and other people that are doing and producing all kinds of things. So when these dots connect, it'll happen, but I'm just working on it, and I know that organically, by the time I get there, I'll be ready to crush. So I'm just working on my personal growth as a comedian and as a person, because this is also connected to like that community and everything you said, Jay, about like sharing those good vibes with people. Like, how many people we actually touched that they were like, I was gonna do something crazy or hurt myself or whatever, but I came out to your comedy show and I checked it out and I felt better about myself. Or even comedians, they're like,
absolutely.
I feel bad about myself. I'm like, come get a spot on my show. Come do a fucking spot at Chocolate's Cantina every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock on Fremont Street. Shameless plug. Get it in.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lex Las Vegas is also co-host with my boy Trez Mala, Taco Conspiracy over at Chocolate's Cantina, owned by my boy Junior. Chocolate's Cantina over on Fremont. What's the address?
1322 Fremont.
East Fremont. Go down there and enjoy some tacos and wings.
$6.99 wings on Wednesdays. How could you beat that?
Be ready to slap box some crackheads. Dorin Plummer.
Hey,
you from the D? Didn't know that. What up, though?
What's up, though?
How long you been doing comedy?
It'll be a year in June.
What made you get into it?
I got into it. One of the things I've been wanting to do for a while, and a friend of mine was like, you should get on stage. I was at Maryland Flamingo dive bar.
The dive bar?
My first spot.
And west side or east side?
Oh, west side.
Oh, west side? Okay, what up, though? Well, where at?
San Juan 8 Mile.
Okay. Michigan, Illinois, and 7 Mile, Kentucky, and Chalmers, all that. Comedic influences.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy, Eddie Griffin.
Yeah. Shout out to Ed Griff, and rest in peace to Charlie. You just been doing a year and a half, see you doing your thing over at Wise Guys, stuff like that. Where do you see yourself going? Do you see yourself continuing to do this? Or do you see yourself as this is a hobby and a bucket list? Or
at first I thought it was going to be a hobby and a bucket list, but then I caught fever in it. And then now it's like everywhere I go, I've got to go to some comedy clubs in Tokyo. I've hit a Jamaican spot on a cruise ship. They've actually,
you performed?
Mm-hmm. I kind of like the cruise ship was actually pretty interesting. I kept the manager. I was on vacation, and they had a comedy nightclub. I was like, "Hey, I'm a comedian," and then I bugged him every night. And he made me a feature.
So give me a crazy road story then.
All right, so a crazy road story. All right, so I don't know about the road, but it was Tokyo.
That's the road.
Oh yeah, that's the ocean. Tokyo was so I was in there getting ready for a set. It took me forever. I had to Google like, "Hey, I'm a comedian." Got in there, and I'm just looking at him like, I was like, "Oh my god!" I made some type of Godzilla joke. Next thing you know, I'm just, "You're so funny," and touching my hair and all that stuff. One just grabbed my crowd like, "Oh my god!" Like, what kind of freaky shit is, you know?
A little Asian?
Yeah.
Oh, Godzilla. Yeah. But shit, that's some funny as hell. I see a lot of potential in you. Keep at it.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming to the show. All the comics And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning into this episode of After Party Friends with DiazMackie. And like we always say around this time, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Watch and pray. God bless you all. Amen.